I have just given you some samples. If you preach to your own people who live here, or write to your friends and relatives over to your own country, of course you know many addresses and this and that. You send them literature, videos, cassettes, and do it as I have told you, for the sake of God, always with good intentions and with love and persuasion, with patience at whatever injury you receive in response to your efforts, and pray. Then nobody can defeat you. You're bound to emerge victorious, because this is a prescription which we have seen used 1400 years ago. It's such amazing success, haven't we? Yes.
So my question is, many Muslims believe that with the advent of Imam Mahdi, there will be a dramatic change.
Eh?
There will be a dramatic change when
Yes.
Mahdi comes. So if the Mahdi is gone, and it's
But why has God brought a dramatic change in His previous ways? While we read in the Holy Quran, La tabdeela li khalqillah, وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَحْوِيلًا. Who was the prophet before who brought about such a dramatic change as they're expecting to be brought about by Mahdi? Ask them to show you one prophet before. Only one out of 124,000. We're not demanding 2, 3, 4, 5, just one, please. Who brought about a change which they expect the Imam Mahdi to bring about. Would he be greater than Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Na'uz billah min zalik? He would take pride in carrying his shoes if he could. So how could he have greater magic power or something which was never granted by Allah to any prophet before? Not even to Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have just finished a discussion of how the society treated him. For 13 full years, he continuously suffered, and his followers, at the hands of others. And they were not even permitted to raise a sword in answer to the swords which were raised against them. Throughout 23 years of his prophecy, he struggled hard every moment of his life. He suffered, and gradually, with prayers, with perseverance, a change was brought about which was like dawn, like early dawn, because even if you see the whole Arabia converted to Islam, it was not yet converted to Islam truly, because the Holy Quran says, وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلُ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ قَالَتِ الْأَعْرَابُ آمَنَّا وَأَسْلَمْنَا. The Holy Quran says, tell them, all right, you call yourselves Muslims, but the faith has not yet entered your hearts. So apparently there is a change, but it's sort of foggy change, where people have not yet become Muslim. The struggle lay ahead. It continued into centuries, and yet less than half the world is Muslim, much less than half the world is Muslim. If Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, given 1400 years, could not yet claim victory over the entire world, how could Imam Mahdi claim such a thing in 40 years or less than 40 years? Something must have gone wrong with their concept of God, not with God. Nothing can go wrong with God. We read in the Holy Quran, وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَحْوِيلًا. You will not find any change, not in the slightest, in the established conduct of God vis-a-vis His prophets and their opponents. This is the meaning of this verse. And we say this history always unfolding itself in the manner as it was unfolded at the time of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah. No change. What sort of Mahdi they would bring? From where? Would completely change, not the history of prophethood, the ways of Allah, the sunnah of Allah. I can't believe in such a Mahdi. I can't believe in such a God who says something else in the Quran and tells something else to the ulama that no, this time I'm going to send a Mahdi who will set things right differently than other prophets used to do.
This is supersonic Mahdi.
Yes. Next, please.
So my question is, how will you explain the words Khatam al-Anbiya?
Khatam al-Anbiya, there is no verse of Khatam al-Anbiya.
In the context of Quran and
No,
Hadith.
so there is no verse of Khatam al-Anbiya. I don't see. Do you remember any verse of Khatam al-Anbiya? Do you?
Khatam al-Anbiya wal
Mursaleen, yeah, I heard that.
Khatam al-Nabiyyin.
Khatam al-Nabiyyin, yeah.
You see, what I'm saying is, of course I understand. I understood you all right, but I wanted to point out that when you quote the Quran, then you should be very careful in quoting the words, right words. If you don't remember, then you can say, maybe something to this effect is said. But I'm not sure whether this word or that word. That is the proper way, which was even adopted in relation to Hadhrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's traditions by the reporters. They said something from their memory. They said, yes, Rasulullah either used this word or that word, but we are not sure, but we know that the meaning was this. You see? So, Ahmad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself has used the term Khatam al-Anbiya, but not with reference to that verse of the Quran. So, we must say there is a verse in the Holy Quran which says, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, Bismillah. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين. Muhammad is the father of no men like you. رجالكم. This is the real translation and it's a very significant one. Muhammad is no father of men like you, but he is a prophet of God, Rasulullah, a messenger of God, wa khataman nabiyyin, and khatam of all the prophets. Correct? Now, if you want to understand the word khatam, I have spoken on this, of course, many a time, but let's restart with the beginning of the verse and understand the meaning of this statement, preceding introductory statement. Muhammad is not a father of men like you. Why did the Holy Quran say that? Why did it relate the issue to the word Khatam al-Nabiyyin? Can you offer a guess? Can you suggest something? The Holy Quran is talking of Hadhrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's status. Why should it start saying that, declaring that Muhammad Sallallahu is not a father of many men among you? Everybody knew that he had no son. But what did it have to do with the office of prophethood? That's what, of prophecy. That's what I'm trying to point out and find an answer from you.
Maybe his son, when he dies, his son will claim the prophecy.
No, it was not that. The fact is that the kuffar Makkah, the infidels of Mecca, used to taunt him that what sort of prophet of God he is. He is not even granted a son. Now, in the Arabs, among the Arabs, to be born with a daughter was, as they saw it, an insult. It brought the man low in the society. Look here, a daughter is born to him. So much so that sometimes out of false pride in their ignorance, they slaughtered their own daughters or buried them alive. This is the society we are talking about. And here is a prophet of God who has not been granted a son by Allah. and the society coaxes him and